Lord Coops versus Popcorn Pops. Some people in my Discord have submitted several replays featuring Popcorn Pops. Popcorn Pops, if you're out there, hope you're doing well. You seem like a neat person. Maybe come join us. Maybe come join our Discord. Maybe come join my channel. Maybe give me money, sir. Or whatever. Wood Elves versus Khorne, and the Wood Elves started out with a bit of a Vanguard rush, so I'll put this on slow motion while I get my shit together quick. We have Chaos Knights of Khorne and 4 Chaos Warhounds of Khorne, buffed Forsaken with their increased HP as a front line, and then double Skull Cannon and Valkia. Looks like we were going to kite the Wood Elves, which is a risky proposition. In the way distance, we have some Chaos Fairies of Khorne. The Wood Elves did not want to kite, however. They went full Vanguard with Dryads, Wildwood Rangers, Orion, King of the Wild Hunt, with a Branch Wraith for support, Earthblood, and Shield of Thorns for her. We have double Deepwood Scout, Swift Shiver Shards, the Winterheart Guard, the only non-Vanguard units that got left a little behind. We have some Glade Riders and the Wild Hunters of Kurnos. The Winterheart Guard, though, nice unbreakable unit on Conquest mode, and hold that point for quite a long time. Forsaken going to charge forward, and they will make mincemeat of the Dryads. You should not take Dryads in this matchup at all. Their fire weakness is really bad versus Khorne, and their magic damage is often not a big problem. Khorne doesn't rely overly heavily on physical resistance. I guess only their Bloodletters do, but you probably don't want Bloodletters in this matchup anyway, because they're so weak to Archer Fire. So Dryads, maybe not the best choice. The Forsaken are going to butcher through those guys, continue on the back line, but the Wildwood Rangers are another matter. They will do just fine versus the Forsaken, charging forward to meet that quickly, as Wild Hunters Kurnos are also going to sprint up. Skull Cannons have fallen back and are getting to firing, getting those little fire vortexes into the elite high elf, Wood Elf infantry, and wow, that one shot did so much damage to the Wildwood Rangers. It was a perfect shot onto a blob of Wildwood Rangers, but still, great stuff. Hounds of Orion coming out to damage the Forsaken further. And Khorne is just now getting to the back line, so we're going to see those Chaos Warhounds and Chaos Knights start to get onto some of the Archers or Skirmish Cav units. Axes raised as they charge in onto the Glade Riders, who didn't see it coming through the forest. Kind of ironic, the Wood Elves were deceived by the forest. Chaos Knights of Khorne go straight through the Deepwood Scouts. Winterheart Guard try and peel the Chaos Warhounds of Khorne, stop some of them in their tracks, and do a lot of damage out. These are just simple dogs, however, so they will get pushed back. But, ooh, in the background, Wild Hunters of Kurnos sprinted out to deal with the Skull Cannon. Already got rid of one, can go after the other as Orion is hunting that one down, sprinting after it. Stabs it in the bum. Losing both those Skull Cannons is a lot of balance of power lost for Khorne. But elsewhere, the mobility of Khorne is doing great. Both the Chaos Knights are still full health. They've gotten rid of a lot of units. There's a lot of dogs left to chase off some of the Wood Elf units. The Forsaken frontline is running out of steam, though. The Wildwood Rangers really cleaving through those guys quite easily. This one's still at full HP after getting 400 value. This other one was shot by a Skull Cannon that did most of its HP, but even after that, it's still getting 500 value. So the Wildwood Rangers keeping the Wood Elves in this game. Skull Cannon peels itself using Chaos Knights and Chaos Furies and Forsaken, getting away from the Wild Hunters of Kurnos and Orion, and now just leaving those guys in a bad way. Shield of Thorns gives some melee damage reflection. They are not going to get healed up because they're currently on fire, so Earthblood wouldn't do too much. Ooh, that is going to be a good Hawk's Talon from Orion. Let's see, Chaos Knights at 4,500 HP. That's over 1,000 HP off from that little ability cast, so great stuff from Orion. Game's still pretty even, 3 minutes into it, as we have one Skull Cannon still alive, though running very dangerously low on ammo. Gets a side shot down the Winterheart Guard, lands right in the middle of him, roasting and toasting the poor Winterheart Guard. That was a great shot there, but the Skull Cannon needs to come into melee for more ammunition at some point. Khorne's mobility forces backing off. Looks like they want to run down the Wood Elves in the distance, while the Hounds of Orion go hunting for Forsaken flesh. Diving through those poor little guys. Those poor little corrupted of chaos. Deepwood Scouts and Dryads actually mulch through some dogs that were trying to chase down the back line as Chaos Knights finally get through, but they're looking like they're not going to chase down those routing units anymore. They are going to go for the point. try and get the Winterheart Guard shut down. Forsaken throw themselves into the melee just to make sure that the Winterheart Guard do not get charge bonus, but there is a huge Sword of Khorne onto the elite and unbreakable Winterheart Guard. The Forsaken were just a trap. It was all a bait. And now the unbraced and extremely damaged Winterheart Guard are about to get charged down by Chaos Knights, who are targeting Orion. That is a bit of a mistake. You probably wanted to have at least one of them charge the Winterheart Guard while you could. Those guys are down to 37 models and dropping fast. Branch Wraith's also taking a lot of damage, and Valky's here. Now, Valky and Orion both have anti-large, which are both of them having their anti-large wasted versus each other. So in the Lord duel, their melee attacks will actually be a little lower than you would expect. Skull Cannon's going to go try and charge some Dryads to get a little bit of ammo back, though I don't know how much that matters. Its ammo's not going to be particularly useful. Oh god, there's an entire Wildwood Ranger! No, Wood Elves! Don't forget a full health Wildwood Ranger! That's not ideal. It's not ideal. It was probably chasing something and that something just died, but they haven't noticed it for whatever reason. So Skull Cannon is currently dancing its way through Dryads, getting extra ammunition, spouting fire all over those guys, as it does. And Orion's still just fighting back to back with a bunch of Chaos Knights. Khorne's going to take the point from the Wood Elves so that the timer isn't constantly ticking against them at this point. Orion is still just fighting some randoms. Chaos Knight's back in it. They were AFK as well, so I was really worried that like this replay was broken or something, but I checked. It's on this patch. So those Wild Rangers are just standing there. It's not a weird bug. It's not my problem. I didn't do it. The game said this is the current version for this replay. I even had to do a patch rollback to make sure it was fine. This is the current version. I'm guessing the Wood Elf player just had their screen like zoomed in. I don't know. I have the debug camera, so it's probably something like that. And he's probably just microing his units around. Because those Wildwood Rangers are also hidden. They have stock, so Koops doesn't know they're there. Another Hounds of Orion on the blobbed up Chaos Knights of Khorne. I'm not saying this is the strategy, but I wonder if he's keeping those guys hidden so he can capture the point later and he doesn't want to reveal them to the Chaos Knights. So maybe he wanted this blob to happen so he could get the Hawk's Talon and all this stuff off onto these units and the Wild Rangers will activate later. I don't know. I don't know. Just devil's advocate over here. As Orion is still completely surrounded by the forces of chaos, as Branch Wraith is about to rout. Skull Cannon's coming back. They're moving! The replay isn't bugged! I knew it wasn't my fault! I knew I didn't fuck up! You fucked up! You, the viewer, fucked up for blaming me for a thing I didn't do! The Branch Wraiths are routing. Orion is still fighting his ass off, trying to hold back the tides of chaos all on his own, but that is a lot of fire damage that reduces his healing even when he gets it. Whenever he gets that little thing, the Cloak of Isha, he's gonna do it. But they're back, baby! The Wild Rangers are here! It was all a plot! It was all a plot! I didn't do shit! I didn't bring shit! As the Chaos Knights see them coming, the Chaos Knights are gonna turn and try and charge into them, but they get movement orders, not attack orders, and the Skull Cannon hits some friendly Chaos Knights instead. It's a disaster for Khorne. It's all falling apart, and also the Wood Elves still have the point. Khorne didn't actually finish taking it. As dogs are gonna finish chasing down the Branch Wraith, the point is still taken by the Wood Elves. It is still ticking up, and the Wild Rangers doing their best to dodge the Skull Cannon shots. There's 2 shots left they have to dodge, and they're very spread out, so even if the Skull Cannon hits them, won't do that much damage. Copium. Huff that Copium as another Skull Cannon shot misses. They're in it, baby! Skull Cannon moves closer to make its last extra shot counts, but has Firewall moving, so if it has fire at will on it, will shoot while it's moving anyway, as Orion and the Wild Rangers are routing everybody off. This is it. Skull Cannon's moving forward. It's a little too close for comfort. It can't use its last shot as it does pile in after all. It's just stuck in melee and Orion's kicking its ass, but Corn takes the point. The Wood Elves can't rely on the game just stalling out anymore. They have to clear these guys out and get the Wild Rangers on the point to cap it. Meanwhile, Valkia dives in as well. The Skull Cannon is getting really close to demonic instability crumbling. Those dogs are still trying to chase off the Dryad to make sure she can't come back and throw down any Earth Bloods or anything like that. That would be a huge problem for Corn. Wild Rangers surrounded by Knights, and while they don't have anti-large, they still have a lot of melee stats, and they would get more if there's a terror-causing unit, but Valkyrie doesn't cause terror, so they don't give a fuck about that. Chaos Knights of Corn routing away, but the balance of power is getting increasingly bad for the Wood Elves. Calm down, balance of power. It's going to be fine. The Wood Elves are going to be fine as they're going back to capture the point. The Skull Cannon is coming in and has 2 shots, but it's going to go into melee as Orion countercharges it, gets a lot of damage down. That thing is going to demonic instability crumble so fast it's going away, and with it, its balance of power, anything. The Wood Elves need anything to stay in this game balance of power-wise, because they are in it. They are in this game for sure, 100%. Balance of power, you're a fraudulent dick. Get out of here. They're fine. They're chilling. Orion has so much healing he can do as the Chaos Knights are pushed off. They're fine. You balance of power, you calm down. They're going to be totally fine as the Wild Rangers turn to fight Valkia with the Orion next to them. The Chaos Warhound's going to charge into the Wild Rangers, though only 40 armor trying to protect those guys. The Dogs of Corn can do a lot of damage. Orion needs to hurry up and rout them as he is going to get his healing procced, but that means the balance of power is really low, so maybe the army losses takes the Wild Rangers out for free, but Valkia is taking so much damage from Orion and the boys. Dogs are trying to charge in. They're trying to cycle charge as Orion just buys time. He is super low on HP, 800 HP, as the Dogs are going to rear charge. The army losing Wild Rangers abandon Orion in his time of need. Because why? Because dogs? Because there's dogs? The balance of power is so bad that you can't beat fucking dogs? As Orion is kicking the shit out of Valkia, he's stabbing that bitch in the face, but it doesn't matter. Nothing matters because army losses took the only support Orion has, and he can't take the point back. He's fallen so damn low, the Cloak of Isha can't save him. Valkia gets another shot in. Ooh, he is actually large, so she's getting her anti-large. I lied earlier. I lied to you, and I'm so sorry. As he does get whittled down by the dogs, he falls, and his final spear that drops from his hand was definitely, for sure, aimed at these cowardly fucks who left him to die. Why would you do that? He was fine, man. Oh, God. Bounce of power, you fickle mistress. It is really fucked up that you guys thought the replay was bugged. I never thought that for 1 second. I never doubted that I did my homework ahead of time and checked to make sure I was on the right version of the patch. That is not my fault. Those Wild Rangers were standing in the forest forever, and that is a real thing that apparently happened. Come with me. Come with me. Look at all these replays I have to do. Look at all these, all right? Look at all of them. Look at these, look at these, look at these. Okay, Corn versus Wood Elves. Boom! There's no red triangle. Go up here. Red triangle. Wrong version. Go down here. Boom. No red triangle. That was legit. That was real. That was a thing. Goodbye. Roar. Subscribe. Yes.